Oh, hey, you caught me eating something so delicious, and I know you are gonna love it. I'm Brian Hart Hoffman, the editor-in-chief of Bake From Scratch, and this Fast Fix Baking series is bringing you delicious and unique recipes that satisfy a requirement for quick and easy. Today, I'm sharing a stir-together chocolate cake with you that has an amazing chocolate buttercream, mixed and baked in less than 2 hours. What is wrong with that? Nothing. This recipe and others can be found in my brand new cookbook, Fast Fix Baking, where every single thing is delicious and ready in under 2 hours. It's super fun, super easy. You are gonna love it. Let's get started. Let's get this thing stirred together, and it is so easy. I'm starting with a bowl that I've got my firmly packed brown sugar in, and we're gonna combine the dry ingredients here first, adding all-purpose flour, baking soda, and salt. And I love the simplicity of this. It's also so delicious, and simple and delicious are definitely good things. So just a quick whisk to get all of this combined, like that. Now, let's get our liquid ingredients and the cocoa powder combined. So I'm starting with some very hot brewed coffee. You could also use hot water here if you do not want to use coffee in the recipe, but I love the flavor and it really enhances the flavor of the cocoa actually. So then we're adding that hot coffee to some Dutch processed cocoa powder. And I'm doing that first just to let the cocoa powder absorb into the warm liquid. Then we're gonna get everything else in and all combined. So I'm adding my oil. I've got sour cream, and the flavor you get from sour cream in this recipe is so good. So get your sour cream in. You could even use a spatula for this just to make things easier. Get your sour cream in, and then egg and vanilla extract too, because the flavor has to come in here with the vanilla and the coffee and the sour cream, and just a quick whisk. See how fast this is? You can do this too. Anytime your craving hits for chocolate cake, this is my go-to each and every time. When you're whisking, start in the center. It helps to keep the oil and the sour cream and the egg from splashing. And after you start in the center of the liquid, you can take the whisk all the way around the bowl, getting everything all the way combined. You want to keep a little bit of a somewhat cleaner kitchen. I can't say that I'm good at it, but we'll go with that. All right, so now let's get our cocoa mixture into our flour mixture, and you are gonna wanna get your spatula back out and get every single bit of it out of the bowl. So this gets your chocolate cake craving satisfied in a hurry. Now again, starting here in the center, I am just going to whisk around gently until I have all of this just combined. And this is until you see the flour streaks absorbed into the liquid, then you stop. It's a little bit more of a gentle whisking here to get your ingredients ready for the oven. All right. Let's get the pan prepped for baking. We are gonna bake this in an 8-inch round cake pan, and I have my baking spray with flour here. I'm just gonna give this a few quick bursts of the baking spray, light coating, and then a piece of parchment into the bottom of the pan. And then we'll get our batter in and off to the oven. Resisting the urge to save some for myself. I do love cake batter, I just gotta say. But I also wanna have the beautiful chocolate cake. So we're off to a 350-degree oven to bake until a wooden pick inserted in the center comes out with a few moist crumbs. It's gonna be, it shouldn't look like batter. It should just like a little bit of the crumb sticking to that wooden pick, and that's about 30 to 35 minutes. And then after baking, you're gonna let it cool in the pan for 10 minutes before cooling it on a wire rack. But this is fast, simple, and off to the oven. My cake layer has baked beautifully and is cooled completely, so let's add more deliciousness to this scenario and make a chocolate buttercream. And this is a chocolate buttercream I actually use a lot, so it doesn't even have to be used on this cake, but it's one that's gonna make it so much better. Starting by creaming the butter, just getting it nice and smooth in the bowl before I add any other ingredients. So that could take about a minute to get everything nice and smooth. But let's do some other stuff in the time process. I'm gonna take my confectioner sugar along with my cocoa powder and some salt, and we're gonna sift these together. And you always wanna do this, especially when you're baking with cocoa powder, because the clumps in the cocoa powder, we do not need them in the buttercream. So this is one of the rare times that you'll see me actually sifting things together. In the church house, play your tambourine. Okay, now let's start getting the confectioner sugar and cocoa into the stand mixer. So with the stand mixer on the lowest speed, we are gonna start by adding our sugar mixture and alternating with some heavy whipping cream. Just scraping through the sides and bottom of the bowl one last time after everything is in, except for one key ingredient that gives good flavor. Vanilla extract, the perfect finish. And then we'll just let this get nice and fluffy on a medium-high speed, and then onto the cake it goes. And then one trick I always use with buttercream, after I get it to the right consistency, so it's nice and fluffy and ready to go, but I don't want a lot of big air bubbles in the buttercream. It still needs to look good on the cake. I take the speed down to that stir setting, and I let it get all the big air bubbles out, and it smooths it out just enough so it's still nice and fluffy and beautiful, but without those big air pockets. It's just gonna be finished with that beautiful chocolate buttercream. Piled high, deliciousness to the sky. Ooh, yeah. Saving some of that buttercream on the spatula because I am gonna eat it. There is no question about it. All right, you could use a spatula. I'm using an offset spatula. And now just put some swoops and smooth and finish it any way you'd like. Why stop? Let's keep going. My God, I could keep working on it. I'm gonna stop. Right now we need to eat the cake, don't we? Let's get one more thing. Chocolate shavings make everything more fun. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Perfect garnish. You don't have to put that on there if you don't want to, but why not? Just a little bit more chocolate to make this chocolate cake that much better. Want to get a slice? Yes, let's get a slice. Oh, it's so soft. It is so perfect. It's not gonna last long. I can tell you that right now. I think I'm gonna dance about it too. Oh yeah. I mean, technically this could be stored in an airtight container for 3 days, but there's not a chance that that's gonna last for 3 days. Not one chance at all. I hope you've loved this recipe and I hope you will be making it very soon. The description includes a link to the recipe so that you can bake it and let me know how much you love it, so be getting the comments for that too. There's also information in the description about how you can be a part of the Bake From Scratch community. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and then you'll never miss another delicious moment. Preheat your ovens, everybody. It's time to bake.